Hi everybody, it's good to see you. I hope you're well. Won't you pull you up a chair and set a spell while I share the story of the last pure blood chief of the Cherokee Nation. The last pure blood chief of the Cherokee Nation was Pathkiller. Pathkiller was a Cherokee warrior and principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. He fought against the Over-Mountain-men and the Wataugan frontiersmen settling in the Washington District at the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War. Soon after the war ended, Pathkiller joined the Dragon Canoe and the Chickamauga Cherokee faction, fighting in the Cherokee-American War until it ended in 1794. Pathkiller served as colonel with the Tennessee militia and fought Morgan's regiment of Cherokees, commanded by Colonel Gideon Morgan and under Andrew Jackson, against the Red Stick Indian uprising during the Cherokee War. It was a frontier extension of the War of 1812. Pathkiller was the last hereditary chief of the Cherokee Nation from 1811 until his death in 1827. After 1813, de facto shifted authority to Charles Hicks, the first chief of partial European descent. Pathkiller remained as chief only in title. His successor, Charles Hicks, died only 2 weeks after Pathfinder died. There is a monument-style table tomb burial site for Pathkiller, died in 1827, which was previously recorded in the region as a tomb of an unknown Indian, located in Calhoun, Georgia, at the site of the Cherokee Indian capital town of New Echota. But this is where the story is buried in mystery. Was he buried there? Well, here's why I asked this question. While visiting Garrett Cemetery and Garrett Ferry, we found something very interesting. The Garrett Ferry was built and created by who? Pathkiller himself in 1820 or 21. The ferry was the only way to cross the Coosa River. Pathkiller built his home a short distance on the east side of the river. Upon his death in 1827, a prominent Cherokee gained a majority ownership of the ferry, and it was operated by William Childers. The ferry was often referred to as Childers Ferry during this time, but by February 23, 1835, the white settler family by the name of Garrett taken up residence on the former site of Pathfinder's former home. The Garrett family obtained ownership of the ferry just before 1837. From then on, it would be known as Garrett Ferry until the 60s, when the construction of Weiss Lake and the bridge crossed the river. After Pathkiller's death, he was buried on a ridge near his ferry known as Garrett Cemetery. Many prominent early settlers are buried here, including editor, publisher, and Confederate Captain Lafayette Marion Stiff. As he requested, he was buried outside the main cemetery facing the Coosa River so he could watch the steamboats as they passed by. Well, folks, I know this is a really short little story, but it's a very interesting one. To come across such an important person in a cemetery we just happened to be visiting. The last pure-blood Cherokee of the Cherokee Nation, buried along the side of a beautiful, beautiful place. Though it's covered in woods and trees now, I bet back then when he was first buried, it was clear cut and you could see for miles down that Coosa River. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this short little story, and I sure appreciate you listening. We love you to pieces, and we'll see you next time.